Okay, welcome to Orland Park Public Library. This is our Zoom class and it's intro to selling on eBay. Okay, intro to how to sell, selling on eBay. Well, first of all, you have to register online. That's your most important thing. Everyone has to register on eBay because if you're selling any merchandise on eBay, you have to make sure you're registered because they have to know who the item is coming from. They need to know the information as far as where to send your money, what address you're using. You got to have that for your payment, what bank you're going to use, what credit card you're going to use. So you must sign in. Now you must sign up for PayPal. This is optional to do this, but I use PayPal. I've been using eBay for over close to 15, 16 years now. Have not had not one problem with eBay using PayPal. And PayPal's been great in between. It's just like having a person with two fighters in a ring and you have the referee in the middle. That's what PayPal is, to protect you and that other person as well. And you just have to log in on paypal.com, www.paypal.com. Next, once you log in, it's going to ask you to, if you're a new user or if you've used it, if you're a previous user, you just go ahead and log in. But I'm quite sure a lot of us probably bought a lot of things on eBay, but we have not sold anything. So it's just your first time, so you're going to have to go through the process. And it's a little process that you can do and take time. It's going to take a little time, but I'm quite sure that everyone should be able to get through it here pretty good. So you want to log in. It asks you to log in so you can get started. Next, you want to know how to sell on eBay. You want to complete the sell the item form. They have a form for you to fill out. Then you want to choose the selling format you want to use, the category, write a little title on it of description of the item specifics, item description, add pictures, pricing and duration how long you want it to be on you selling it for, because you can have it sell for 3 days, you can have it set for 7 days, and you can have reoccurring. If it doesn't sell, you can have it reoccurring back on sale after your item does not sell. Then you have to fill out something for your payment and your shipping and review the sub listings. Now, when you first do your own site, you're looking at eBay, and this is how the format of the page look out. In your top left corner, you're going to see sign in or register. That's where you're going to begin your registration at, and you want to log in there. There is a search engine on the top. The search engine is usually used for searching for specific items. So if you have a certain item that you're not sure of the description of that item, you can also go in and type it in there into the search area, and you'll be able to find a similar item like that, so you can get description and information that you can put on when you're registering your product. So that's a helpful tool for you. Next, after that, when you hit enter and you log in, it's going to be a keyword to describe your item. This is where they want you to try to describe your item. And you want to be more detailed as possible of what your item is. For instance, I had if I was selling my watch, I want to show my watch, and I want to show the name brand of the watch. I want to be more detailed on what it's a Samsung, but what type of watch it is. A Samsung Active watch. They have an Active 2, but I have to be as detailed as possible. That'll help them find that item for me when I put it in. Next, that's where you want to make sure all your, like I was talking to you before, you want to make sure you put your band on there. Like I got on there, Samsung Galaxy Active Watch, as you can see on there. And what happens is when I type that in, there's a drop down that shows me what I want to actually mean with this watch. Make sure it's included on the band or whatever. I want to make sure what I'm selling is more detailed. So I'm going to pick one of the two down there and select it. After that, it's going to say listed fast. Now, listed fast, if I select that, is usually if I want to list it real fast, meaning that as soon as I finish everything that's required for eBay, they can list this ASAP, meaning that this item that I'm trying to sell or items, I will be able to sell that at a, as soon as I finish filling in all the information that's required. That's what it means when you, and then you'll put down, I got it. And next thing you know, it'll show you your item. So now my watch that I currently trying to sell, it shows up on the picture that they have already there for you. And then I could select sell one item, sell one item like this, and I could show exactly what my watch is, and then it'll give me all the description, the size, the weight, everything that I need for my to sell. It gives me the information of that right there when I select the one that more similar to my watch or exactly like my watch. Now this side is select a condition, which is very important. It's if the watch is new, is it an open box? If it's new, that means that it's never been opened. It's in its original package, haven't been touched. An open box means that the box was open, but the item has not been used. Manufacturer refurbished mean that if it was from the manufacturer and I took this watch, it was defective and they went ahead and fixed the watch and now it's working, that means that I'm going to sell it as a manufacturer refurbished. And then a seller refurbished, then used. If the watch, I've had this watch for about almost 3 years now, so it's going to go in my used category. That's what I'll be selecting. Now, if it's broken and I know it's an expensive watch and there's an expensive part, I can just say that it's 4 parts only. 4 parts not working. I got to make sure I specify that it's not working, because if it's if someone gets it and they think that and you didn't specify that it was only on parts only, they can go ahead and have a complaint for you through eBay. I'm sorry, through eBay or the PayPal, and then they would have you have to give that money because you wasn't specific that it was for parts. So you make sure you do that. Once you go in and you set up all your information, it asks you to log in. So now that you set it up, now you're going to use your email that you have, and then you're going to the password that you created. And then you're going to enter your password that you created right on the line above, and then you want to go ahead and sign in. After you sign in, you want to create, this is the watch that I selected. It already have, eBay was able to take that picture that they had of the watch, and I could use their picture and use it as a picture of the watch. But I'm also needing to take pictures of this. The main thing you want to do is make sure you're taking pictures of your product, especially if it's used. If there's scratches on your screen of your watch, or there's chips on the outside ridges of your watch, you want to make sure that that is detailed and taken a real close picture of. So you need to get a really nice little, you can get a nice cheap, I would say 14 pixel camera from Best Buy or Walmart or something like that to take your pictures. Some of you guys may have real good phones that you could use those phones to take pictures, but you want to be detailed on the pictures. So when it comes to any nicks, any scratches or anything, you want to have something that shows the nicks and scratches, and make sure that when you do that, you're going to put it in the details here. So as you can see, it says listed details. The title of the watch is already there. If I want to put a subtitle, that's going to cost me $1. And if you can look on the side, on the left-hand side of each one of those categories that they show, is a little circle and an eye in the middle. That's for information. So if you're not sure what they want you to put in those blank boxes, you can click that and it'll give you a description of exactly what you need to put in these empty boxes that you're putting in for your description of your product. Then you're going to put the condition, which I put used down there. Then when I say the condition description, I have to be detailed. Again, like I said, it's really important when you're trying to sell used product that you're real particular exactly where the defects at, or if it has any defects, you want to make sure you put it down there. And what I'm doing now, these slides that you're seeing right now, it's the same page. Since I was able to take screenshots of it, it's the same page. I just scroll down a little further so you can see. Then next is going to ask you to format if you want it in an auction or if you wanted it at a fixed price. You can, and what I want to just tell you, there's a difference in an auction. For instance, when I auction off, say my watch, I would go on Google and I'll find out a price for this specific watch of mine. And then as a used item and what it usually retails for, what I could sell it for. And I would also put in the condition of the watch. And I'm quite sure I can get a result on how much. I paid close to $300 for it. So I probably can get like maybe $180 out of it. So I want to make sure that if I put it on an auction, that I'm going to leave a little leeway in auction on there. So auction meaning that when people see your item, they can bid on it for a price. You have to put down how much you want to start your auction off for. So if it's for $180, I would start my auction off to make it really tempting for someone. I would start off at $150 or $140. That'll really reel people in. They say, oh, that's a expensive watch and I want one of those and I've been wanting one. But 140, a lot of people start bidding on it right away. So that can bring in a lot of money for you if they start bidding in a lot of way. You also have a certain point that you can also have for a scapegoat that say like, I want to make $200 off this watch. And I want to make sure that that $200, if it does not sell for $200, I will be able to still keep my watch. So if someone bid all the way up to the last day in time before the watch expires, and they bid up to maybe $190, well, that'll tell them at the end that didn't meet my reserve. It's called a reserve. So it didn't meet my reserve. My reserve, no one knows what my reserve is except me. But my reserve is $200. So they did not meet that. So it would tell the person who thought they won that it did not meet the seller's reserve price. And so then now I could resell it again. This time when I come back and put it back out there, I'll make sure that my starting price would be a little more like 170 or, or closer, 175. So I know I reached that 200 mark. Okay. And next, that's the starting time. You want the starting time for your auction to begin. We just talked about starting the price and buy it now. If you want to put down something like buy it now, say for instance, I want $220 for it. Say I'll put it on there. I got it. I'm going to put it for sale on there, and they're going to start bidding on it. But if you want to buy it right out, you can buy it from me for like $225 or $240. That's an option that you could use, that you can get more money on this. So if someone see it, they know it's a good price, and then they see it for $240, $245, they say, oh, that's still a good deal, I'm going to buy it now. That's your item already sold, just like that, that fast. And that's the reserve price. If you can see right next to that is the reserve price, and that is the price that you would only see. So that 200 will go there. That's the reserve price. Best offer, you can put one in there for best offer. The quantity, how many you have. So if I had 5 or 6 watches of the same caliber or new or used, whatever, I'm going to put down the quantity there. Private listings, that means for certain individuals. If you have any questions on that, remember the circle in the I means for information about that. It's allow buyers to remain anonymous and other eBay users. If you want to donate percentage of your sale, you can do that. It'll give you information on that. And then your payment options. The payment options is what you're going to be accepting from someone else. The payment option is PayPal. And then you want an email address to receive the payment. So that's your information. That's what eBay needs from you. This is nothing that the person who's actually purchasing would see, none of this information, just yourself and PayPal. Required immediately payment from with pay it now. So that means that when I select buy it now, then that means that I want my money right away if you're going to stop my auction. If my auction already started and it's supposed to be for like 7 days, and you decide I want to buy it now, I want immediate payment, because right now you're stopping, you know, I could probably get close to 300, close to 400 for this watch if I list it right. So I'm going to make sure that they pay me. If they decide they want to buy it now, they're going to pay me right now. And any additional information. So all this here, your sales tax, when you hit the information, it'll help you out as far as what is your sales tax that you'll be paying, return options, domestic return, accept it or not accept it. And again, you got to make sure that you are following all the guidelines and crossing your T's and dotting your I's on this. The domestic return, international return. Now, I just want to make sure that you understand too that when you are selling your product, that you make sure that if it's going to be international, that means that it could be overseas, it could be in another country, and that means that everyone sees your product in the world that has eBay. They'll be able to see your product and for items, and then you can sell it a lot faster. But the downfall of that is the shipping, because everything has to go to customs, and during these times that we have COVID-19 that's involved, it can be sitting over in for a while trying to get them in customs and just sitting there, and it'll take weeks and either probably some months before this person to get their item, and you will pay extra money to have it shipped out there. So you got to make sure if you're going to go the international route, that you are making sure you look at those things, and you want to calculate your services. your fees. If you're doing a free shipping, make sure you, after you know the weight of your item, you can go online to United Parcel Service or the United States Parcel Service and type in how much it costs to, you know, the weight of your product. So type that weight in, and then you have to add, so you want to put a little padding in there, and then the box itself, you can probably add another pound to that. And then they can give you an estimate on how much it's going to cost to ship that. And you also have to, so if you wanted to, if you look at it, I always add a little extra money for shipping in my, whenever I do anything like that. That way that I'm not really paying for shipping. I've checked it out. I've seen how much it's going to cost to ship this, and I add it to the price that I'm going to sell it for. That's a helpful tip for you to help you out. And then you just fill out all the rest of the information. International shipping, it'll ask you information on that. If you want to do it, yes or no. Your package weight and the diameter and the package weight, all this information, you can get that from when you search in Google and find out about your product. You can get all that information there. That'll help you out a lot. If you have a box or something like that, the packaging, you might want to show that it's a big box, and you just know you can take a ruler or measuring tape and just measure all the sides and everything, and make sure you have all those measurements in there when you ship it, okay? Next is the shipping calculator. They have a shipping calculator. So if I'm going to sell this now after this class and I'm setting it up now, I can go in there and put the package information. If I have the length, the weight, and the height, put all that information in there, and the zip code where I'm, my detail, my zip code, and handling fees if I have them, excuse me. And I make sure all that information is filled in there. And eBay will calculate what it'll cost me doing that process. And next is information. Is it in a letter, or is it a large envelope, or is it package, or is it a large package? You want to be detailed on that, on the size. You're going to put how many pounds it is in ounces, all that good things, which I just talked about. If you want to, this is the option where you decide if you want it to go domestic or international at the bottom there. And then it'll calculate it, because there's two different prices. When you go domestic, it'll give you a total different price than when you go international, because of course you're shipping the item overseas or to another country. So it has to calculate all that in there. But after that, you'll go ahead and calculate the shipping, and then it should give you a price. Okay, next, the shipping detail. This is some more things that, small things that you need to fill out. Let me make sure I'm in the right place here. Bear with me here. Okay, so you want to domestic shipping, you want to fill in that information. You want to make sure you're filling out the service to, and all this information over again. Make sure all this information is filled out. And if you have any questions on it, again, that's what the I in the circle around the I that's right next to each one of the categories. That's to help you out along the way. And again, this is showing the diameter and everything else. And it looks like this is probably going to be it. After I finish most of putting everything in, it's going to say, tell us what you're selling. And I can just tell them what I'm selling if I want to get started on another item. But right now, the last draft I have in there showing the Samsung watch that I want to be listed in the template. I could go ahead and pick that, and that'll be the watch that I will be putting for sale after this. So if I wanted to go ahead and start another item, say for instance, if it's a vase or any kind any kind of thing that I want to sell, I can go ahead and enter multiple ones in there. Now, I don't have to actually start the sale right now. I can always come back on a later date and put it on sale. If I needed to resume putting information on there, as you can see on there, I did not fill out all the information because I'm not selling my watch. That's pretty much why I didn't put it in there. But if I want to resume, I can click resume, and then I can finish putting all the information that I've got that they were requiring, and I can put it on in there. And if I decide, like right now, that I'm not going to be selling my watch, I'm going to go ahead and hit delete, and that'll delete everything that I put in there out of there. And then I can start over fresh and new, and just telling us what you're selling. Okay. As you can see, when they go into creating this list, it went in there and put in all the information about my watch, and it showed the picture here. This is an important part here. I can upload, take pictures of with my digital device or phone, and upload my own photos in there. If I wanted to keep this photo as, say, it was brand new in a box, that's a great photo for it because it's brand new in a box, and I'm not going to open it just to take pictures of it. I'm going to leave it in the original package, and I'm going to utilize their picture because it's brand new in a box and there's nothing wrong with it, it hasn't been touched. So if I was going to use that picture, this would be a great one. But if I want to add pictures, as you can see on the right side, it says add pictures. This is where I can go in. I can connect my USB to my computer, and from my computer to my phone or my camera device. And I could load those pictures into the areas as many. And I just want to tell you that I think they have recommended add more photos. They only give you a certain amount of pictures that you can put in there. And I'm not quite sure. I'm thinking it's either 4 to 6. But after that, you would have to pay extra. As you see, display a large photo costs you 35 cents. And some people don't care, it's 35 cents. But you got to really think about it, how many pictures you have. Just be detailed. You want to take 360 pictures around your product. Even though if it's a vase, and yeah, the vase is pretty much the same parameter all the way around, but you still want to take a picture of it in each aspect all the way around to get a full. You want to take a picture probably downward on the item and probably turn it over and take a picture on the bottom. You want to be detailed on the product, because if someone gets your product and say that it was chipped, and you already took the pictures and have pictures of it showing that it was not chipped, and you send that to them, you have a better case of not being able to do a refund or with this person, because they may have chipped it. And it could happen during the process of shipping. So it's really, really important that you make sure that your product is, if it's anything glass or anything breakable, you want to make sure there's enough bubble wrap or whatever container that you have in there. You want to make sure that it's enough in there that your product is safe and it won't break or anything in the process. And if so, if you have that problem, you might want to be able to try to get a hold to whoever shipping your product. If it's FedEx, you want to call FedEx in reference to it, and make sure you have insurance on your product. Your product, you know, if my watch is worth $300, I'm going to have at least $200 worth of insurance if my watch get lost or anything else. Or if I had a very, very expensive vase and my vase may have broke on the way there and it wasn't the person who bought it, it wasn't their fault, it was the people who shipped it. I want to be able to have my money and have it safe. So insurance is the best way to go on that. Don't let it really worry you about paying that extra little $20 or 15 or $5 or $6, whatever it costs extra for the insurance for the quantity of your product. Because if it's damaged or something wrong with it, you want it replaced and you want your money. But if you don't put that insurance on it and it's damaged or broken, then you're pretty much stuck with nothing, and you don't want that. All right, I'm going to continue on. And this part here, this is recommendation part here, and this is where you want to put your the rest of your information, additional information about specifics and things that you want to do as far as warnings or anything of that, dealing with your product, what region or manufacturer is from. You might want to do that if it's from the US, from Korea, wherever. You want to put all that information. If you have a manufacturing warranty on it, you want to put that information on there. These things that if you have any questions and more details, again, that circle and that dot, that I in the middle will give you, that's for information and it's for you to use just in case you need additional information and questions about it before you answer it, okay? Now we move on to additional information, which I was pretty much, I made the screen because I wanted to go up a little bit. Down at the bottom is more details, item details. This is where you can be particular with your items and making sure that everything is noted on here as far as problems, anything that needs to be known from the buyer when they buy. You want to put everything down here. You want to put either a small chip on the corner, small scratches on the screen. You want to put all that in there and make sure that you detail that. So when the buyer gets it, the first thing you're going to say, oh, it got scratches on the screen. They didn't list it there. Well, what eBay is going to tell them is that they can return it because it wasn't listed that it had scratches on it. And if you don't have it listed, then you're pretty much stuck. Then here you go, they're shipping it back to you. You might get the shipping costs and then you got to get a refund and that money goes back to that person. So to prevent that, just make sure you detail on all your information on here. And again, this is just some of the things on that we went over. Let's see here. Here we have the example of a shipping of pictures that they took. This shows a Barbie. And with that information that you typed in and showed details, it comes with a swimsuit. This shows the Barbie doll itself. And then it shows a pair of shoes, a comb, and a brush. And they took a pair of it together. That's letting you know how it's going to come. They took an initiative to do a close-up on her face and then on the back of her buttocks where they stamp the stamp of the product, which shows the information of who's it by. They made sure they detailed on that and they took a picture of it. Because what it does is show the authenticity of that product. So, and it helps the buyer knows that, okay, it's legitimate. That is exactly what this relic, this is what I've been looking for. And that is the original stamp. So that helps you a lot, knowing that this product is legitimate and you know it by the stamp and everything else. So these pictures is really, really nice that you could also take pictures like that. Okay. For additional help, going to a few online websites to answer. I was suggesting that you go to youtube.com. youtube.com gives you the videos of answers to your questions. So say, for instance, you want to know how to rate your item. You want to know some questions like, I think someone probably asked me, usually when you ask a person about what's the cost of something, that's a little different because the cost changes in these times, unfortunately. I can give you a price of how much a watch would cost to ship today, and they have changed the prices when I went up there. So if you go to YouTube, it'll give you details about the process. You want to make sure you're detailed. They have a search engine. When you type in youtube.com, on the top of the screen is a search engine what actually shows you, you just click on it and type in detailed. So if I'm looking for how to ship my Samsung watch or how to ship a watch, they will show me a video exactly on how to ship a watch. And pretty much a watch is basic because some of them depends on if you have the original containers for them, you know, because I usually keep the original containers of all my products because you never know when you want to sell them. Like I was sitting around there trying to sell, I had a DJ equipment, and I've had it for a while, for over 4 years. And I'm keep seeing my friends who was DJing, and they had DJ equipment that was fairly new and the newer things. And a lot of them, I went into a store probably about 4 weeks ago. And I went in, I checked it out, and I said, this is a really nice one. I went ahead and purchased that. And the point that I did that is because I wanted to sell my other unit. So what I did, the music center decided, they said we could sell it. I could sell it to them and they'll take it back. The first thing they asked, do you have the original box and package for this item? And I said, does it make a difference? Yes. You get more money if you have the original package, everything comes in, than you do if you just bring, if it was a laptop and you just brought it in and wanted to sell it to them. If you have the box, the warranty, the paperwork and everything like I did, I got a lot more than someone who walked in with a mint condition item and didn't have none of that. So if you have that, that's a good helpful hand for you, because now you got the original package. So when you go to YouTube, I just want to let you know that you can find anything. If you want help on math, if you want help on how to fix your plumbing, your cars, if you need help on with anything, there's someone with a video on it. Excuse me for a second. All right, so that's one. Google.com is another one that can help you out. This is usually it has the reading materials and a website to get you right to whatever you need. So when I go into Google.com and I ask for, I'm just gonna say this, what to sell my Samsung Galaxy Active Watch for, or what is the price of it, to get a price range of it. Google will take me to a page and they'll have different sites open where they're giving me details exactly what prices are out there and people who actually got it on sale, and pictures that I could actually see the watch that they're selling. And now the ads.com, I haven't used it as much, but it's a good tool too. You type in questions and once you type in your question to them and submit it, you have to register for this, I think, so they can send back. If they don't have the answer to your questions, they will get back to you on an email. So you have to put your email information on that. So that's really important to do that. All right. So some of the main things that you want to do on your when you're selling your product and how to complete that sale, you want to communicate with the buyer. I tell you that first, that is very much important. You have a rating inside of eBay that rates how well you sold your product, how many negative response you got, how many positive response you have. Well, when I look it over, and I'll check over in a corner, because as a buyer, if I'm going to buy your product, I could look online to find out how many negative and positive feedback have you gotten. So if I see like you had 50% positive, but 30% negative, and I read over the negative because it is available to me as a user, and I said, oh my goodness, this person, they had a lot of bad incidents here. A lot of bad incidents. I don't think I want to buy from this person. And I'm reading over some of the things, and the more negative I see, the less I'm attracted to your product. So you want to keep a positive, make sure you're using positive feedback, making sure you're communicating with the buyer, and advise the buyer that, say for instance, I sold it today, and I would sit around there and someone, or it was auctioned off today, it ended today, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the item will be sent out. So I'll get ready to package it up and send as soon as I know that my payment has been secured. And I could check my account to make sure there has been payment. The payment of the product has been accepted on my end before I run to go give this. Just because someone in an auction asks you to go ahead and send the money or send the product with the quickness, be very much appreciated. I'll give you extra $100. Do not send it unless you have the money through PayPal, and you do everything through PayPal. They even monitor the emails back and forth, because you have to go through them to get to the person who's buying the item. So you want to make sure that you being very professional on talking to someone that's probably irate about something of your product. So just be professional with it and try to work with that person first. That's the best advice I could tell you. And then just make sure you receive your payment first before you go out and trying to ship it to them. Then you ship the item to the buyer, and then you leave buyer feedback, and you ask them how do they like their watch, how do they like the vase, was it up to your standards, are you enjoying it? And what that does is give you positive feedback, which actually goes into your box as far as positive feedbacks, because you're getting one. And if someone didn't like it, you know, you're gonna ask them, why didn't they like it? What could I have done better to make this product sellable to you or done for you? And if it's any reasonable thing that you could have done or could do, you can still do, you can look into that. So those are the most important part in when you're selling on eBay. You want to be detailed as possible. You want to make sure you're communicating and receiving your money. Now, the reason why it's like we have like approximately about 12 minutes. I've always tried to leave the line open for questions, Q&A. So I want to make sure that everyone who has questions will be able to, I can be able to answer them this evening before the time is up. Now, also on here, I have the information for my direct email. So if we don't get to you today for the answer to your question, you can also email me and I can go ahead and send that information back to you in a timely manner, and email it back to you and give you the answer to what you're looking for. All right. So questions and answer time. So again, you'll see my email address here, and also the number to the Orland Park Public Library. Usually I am full-time. I'm here pretty much during the week. You can answer me questions. Sometimes I'm not going to be available. So if you could just be patient and just send me an email, I can either call you back or probably just email you back with an answer to some of the questions. And at this time, I'm gonna go into questions. So bear with me here. Okay. If there's any questions anyone have, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Okay, I'm gonna start with Jim, and Jim question is, will the presentation and notes be emailed to us? The presentation that I'm currently doing now, it will be actually online at orlandparklibrary.org. They have it on our Facebook that you can watch this entire webinar on there. What you do is when you go to orlandparklibrary.org, as soon as you open it up, you'll see a tab on the right-hand side that says Facebook. We have an Orland Park Library Facebook, and inside there, they will have this whole webinar in there from start to finish, and you could look at it at your leisure. And I hope that answered your question. Okay, what is the percentage? I got one from Jim saying, what is the percentage of the sale does eBay take? That is when you fill out the form that eBay have you to fill out for what you're selling, how much you're selling for, because the percentage is going to be different. It differs because of the product in the sale. If I have a vase that's worth $1,500, what the eBay percentage on that sale is going to be totally different from a watch that I'm selling for $300. But when you fill out that information, all the additional costs and all that will be shown to you, and you'll know exactly what the percentage you will be paying for that. The exact percentage, I'm not 100% sure, because again, during this COVID time, they could have changed that. And eBay has a thing that they don't keep certain things too long. They usually switch up. So I hope that answered your questions, but yeah, when you fill out that information on there, they should give you all that information on what you'll be paying at the end of the sale in a percentage. The next one is anonymous. Okay, how do I sell something in person? Maybe police station has a space for what I think is eBay's purchase pickup. Well, when you're selling items on eBay and you're selling it to an individual that is probably local, so that's a local sale that you're talking about. Yes, you would want to pick a safe place like a police station, or a well-lit place with activity in it, even a coffee place like Starbucks. And you know, a lot of these businesses are, you know, it's the real thing is about they're not really as busy on the inside, and a lot of people going through drive-through. So using police stations is always a plus, and it'll always help you out. And it's the most safest place to do these transactions because unfortunately, we do have sometimes that these are some crazy people out here, and some are meaning right to do right and some don't. And it's kind of, you don't know what you're dealing with then. But I would say most definitely find a local police station. That's a great place to start at. And any other places, I don't think that I would be safe at this time because there are a lot of closures, a lot around. So I hope that answered your question. So yes, the police station will be a great place that you could exchange your item. Is there any more questions? So I'd just like to sit around there and say that selling on eBay is not as hard as a lot of people make it. And a lot of people are scared to try to dive into it and do it. But the time it takes you to finish filling out all that information and have everything up, next thing you know, your item is up and you're ready to sell right then and there. And you say like, oh, it didn't take that much. The first time's a charm, the second time is even better because you know exactly what they're requiring. So that's a plus. And I had Jim saying advantages over Craigslist. Well, eBay been around a long time. Craigslist, they've been around not as long as eBay, but Craigslist, the advantages that you have is that eBay is backed up by PayPal. PayPal is the middleman. Like, I'm going to give you an example. I had it was a monitor for my computer. I wanted to get this monitor. And I said, oh man, this is pretty much, it was HD. Everything was perfect on this monitor. And they had it down for 85 or 89 bucks. I jumped on it real fast to get it. Now, this is what happened when I got it. I didn't read, when I got the bet and I won the bet. Well, it wasn't really a bet, it was a buy as is. So I clicked it and bought it. And then I realized at the bottom it stated that parts only. I didn't read that part. It was saying parts only. And it was over on the side there. And I just bought and spent $80-something on a monitor that I could just only use for parts only. I was so upset until I started really digging into it and understanding it. At this time, the difference between Craigslist and eBay is that Craigslist is that you bought it. It's yours. It's absolutely yours. And you have to pay for it. eBay went ahead and when I advised them, I said, well, he doesn't have pictures of the product that I have. The guy who was selling it, he was a third party or a second party, and the third party who was actually shipping it had it in warehouses. So they had no pictures of the exact product. So that's the only way I got my money back. But I got my money back. $89 came right back to my account. So that is the advantage of the two, is because they will go to bat for you and you don't have to worry about interacting with the user compared to Craigslist. I don't know how they're set up far as making sure that the customers get their, or the sellers are getting their product, and there's no funny business going around. So that's why PayPal is the middleman, and they stay in between there to watch over your finances. And eBay is the middleman to watch over you and the other individual that's purchasing it. So those are the advantages that you have. All right. And it's about that time. I got about a couple more minutes. So if you have a few more questions, you can. And like I said, you have to be real careful when you're selling your item. That was something, a loophole that this individual did. And you as a seller got to understand this. these are loopholes that some people look for to get their money back for your items. And I've seen people damage items and bring it and send it back to the seller, and it was damaged and it wasn't sent out damaged. It was working perfectly, but they damaged it just intentionally because they were upset with you. So you really have to protect yourself. Make sure you're detailed on your product. Make sure you know you take the pictures of all about your product, and it only helps for also when eBay sees your product. Yes, it was in good condition when it was shipped. You had the pictures and everything. It was no chips on it and everything else. So if someone allegedly said that something was broke on it, or a dial was missing, or anything like that, you have the information right in front of you. You have the pictures, you put in all the details of everything that was wrong with it, and they have all that information. So with that, that would help you out a lot. And just remember to just take your time, get all the information, be more detailed. Be detailed is the most important thing. And again, if my name is Daniel Williams, and if you need to reach me, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up here. Like I said, not used to using Zoom that much, so this is my first time, so bear with me here. I'm gonna pull it up in my presentation. And okay, so that ends the class. If you have any questions, you can call or you can email me, and I can try to answer as much questions as possible for you, or in an email. And that's about it. That's the end of my class. And thank you for attending. Be safe, wear your mask, and just be careful and just take your time and get rid of all that clutter around the house that's sitting around just waiting to be sold, okay? And have a good evening, and I'll talk to you later.